Hello PUBG Mobile players, how are you guys? Hope you all are doing well. Welcome back to another tips and tricks video. Today we are going to talk about the top 10 tips and tricks that will help you level up your game sense and make smarter decisions in PUBG Mobile. Don't miss tip number 8 and bonus tip at the end. They are very important for you guys. Let's get started. Tip number 1, use smoke to block enemy vision. When you're stuck in the open and enemies are firing at you, using smoke is one of the smartest things you can do to survive. It's not just about trying to run away quickly, it's about blocking the enemy's vision so they can't keep shooting at you. Throwing smoke gives you a chance to move without being seen, giving you the extra time you need to find cover or get into a better position. The key is to use the smoke in a way that confuses the enemy, making them unsure of where you've gone so you can escape safely. Tip number 2, use grenades before rushing. When you're about to rush a building where enemies are hiding, throwing a grenade first can be a game changer. The sound of the grenade cooking forces enemies to react, and this can reveal their position. Wait for the sound of the enemy moving or trying to escape. This can give you a clear advantage when you make your move. By tossing a grenade in, you'll make them react, maybe even exposing themselves for a split second. That split second can be all you need to rush in and finish the fight. Tip number 3, coordinate with teammates for cover. When you're about to rush at some enemies, do not rush with all teammates. Always have one teammate hold back who will provide cover while you and the rest of the team make the move. Imagine you're about to rush to a building with your squad. One teammate should stay a little further back to cover your movement. While you're pushing in, if any enemies try to rush you or shoot from an unexpected angle, your teammate can help suppress them and give you the time you need to take control. Tip number 4, always heal when fighting multiple enemies. When you're up fighting against multiple enemies, never make the mistake of thinking you can keep fighting with low health. Always take the time to heal, even if it feels like you're in the middle of a fight. When you're healing, try to position yourself behind cover or in a spot where the enemies can't easily hit you. If you're exposed, even for a second, you'll likely get knocked out. Healing can make all the difference in turning the fight in your favor. Tip number 5, go prone before spraying for extra stability. When you're spraying at enemies, especially over longer distances, going prone can significantly improve your accuracy and weapon control. Dropping to the ground helps stabilize your body, reducing recoil and making it easier to maintain a steady spray. Before you start spraying, make sure you're aiming at the right spot, then drop prone to increase your chances of landing those critical hits. This simple move can be the difference between landing a few shots or wiping out the enemy, especially when you're facing multiple opponents. Tip number 6, cover your teammates. When your teammates are engaged in a fight with multiple enemies, it's crucial to cover them and watch for any enemies trying to flank or move around. Instead of focusing on your own target, keep your aim on the spot where you expect enemies to appear. By doing this, you can quickly react and take down any enemies that try to push or peek to fight your teammates. Timing is key. Stay patient, and as soon as you see an enemy exposed, take the shot. When your teammates are fighting multiple enemies, it's important to support them by watching for any enemies trying to push or peek at them. Tip number 7, don't rush blindly. When you're alone and an enemy is camping upstairs with a DBS shotgun, don't just rush in blindly. The close-range power of the DBS can easily knock you out if you run straight into it. Instead, try using grenades or other throwable items to force the enemy out of their position. If you don't have grenades, you can bait them into rushing you by making noise or shooting from a distance. Or you can pretend to push, which might make the enemy think you're an easy target and cause them to rush down to engage you. This way, you can control the fight and significantly increase your chances of winning the fight and avoid getting eliminated easily. Tip number 8, don't let your teammates be eliminated. When you're fighting in the open and suddenly a third-party enemy starts attacking, it can quickly turn into a dangerous situation, especially if you get knocked in an open area. In this case, communication with your teammates is key. Immediately ask them to provide cover by firing at the enemies who are trying to finish you off. Even if your teammates are only able to deal a little damage, it can still make a big difference by distracting or slowing down the enemy's advance. This gives you the chance to regroup and reposition. While your teammates are providing cover, use a nearby vehicle to create some form of protection. Vehicles can act as a temporary shield, blocking enemy sight lines and buying you some time. Additionally, throwing smoke can be a game changer. The smoke will obscure the enemy's vision, allowing you to safely heal and revive without the fear of being finished off. By using this strategy, you can turn a bad situation into an opportunity to recover and regroup. It's all about communicating with your team and using your environment to your advantage. Tip number 9, rush when you have the opportunity. When you knock an enemy, it's important to take advantage of the opportunity and rush in quickly, especially if you suspect their team is weak or struggling. For example, if you spot 2 enemies and knock one, the other teammate will probably be trying to revive the downed player. This is your chance to rush in fast before they can fully recover and secure both kills. By rushing in quickly, you catch the remaining enemy off guard, who may be too focused on the revive to notice your movement. In these situations, speed and aggression can overwhelm the enemy, allowing you to finish them off easily. Don't hesitate, just rush in. Tip number 10, don't let them run away. When you kill an enemy and notice that the other one is running away in a car, there's a good chance they're heading to a recall tower to revive their teammate. This is a perfect opportunity to capitalize on. Instead of just letting them escape, rush behind them in your own car, keeping your focus on the recall tower. As you approach, stay alert. There's a high possibility that they'll be engaged in a fight with other players. Bonus tip, master solo versus squad strategy. If you're playing solo versus squad and going up against 4 enemies, don't make the mistake of fighting all of them at once. The key is to break them down and fight one by one. Let me explain this with an example. In this situation, I knocked and finished one enemy, then quickly took down another with my shotgun. That left 2 enemies, but they were coming from different directions. Fighting both of them at the same time from 2 angles would have been very risky because it's hard to defend yourself when enemies are attacking from opposite sides. So instead of staying out in the open, I quickly moved into a house. This gave me cover and forced the remaining enemies to rush towards me. Fighting from inside the house gave me a big advantage because I could focus on each enemy as they entered. This made it much easier to handle the situation and get a clean 1 versus 4 squad wipe. Always remember, when you're outnumbered, don't try to fight everyone at once. Use smart positioning. So those were my top 10 tips and tricks to improve your game sense in PUBG Mobile. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and share with your friends. Also, be sure to check out my previous videos. They're packed with even more helpful tips to level up your game. And hey, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe for more PUBG Mobile tips and tricks. See you in the next video. Happy gaming!